All right, we are now live. Hopefully this works out okay and everybody can hear me okay. All right, so this is camp oven, just 101. We're gonna go over a little bit of history, how to pick them out, what sizes you want. The first thing about the history, camp ovens have been around a long time. It started out, there was a guy from England named Abraham Darby, went to the Netherlands and they were making pots using sand molding out of brass. Well, he gets back to England and he likes the idea and he starts making stuff and he decides, hey, let's try to do it with a cheaper metal so that, he can, make more profit off of it. So he used cast iron, and that's when they first started making different pots, different shapes. The originals were actually more resembling the poke pots from South Africa because they're more of a rounded, but eventually a lot of the ones went flat. And then they started using the mold process with cast iron in 1710. So it's 215 years ago. So they've been around a little while. And then when they came to America, Paul Revere was actually a blacksmith and was making cast iron pots. And he came up with the flange lid so that you could actually put coals around and be able to hold these so the coals would just roll off. And another really cool thing about the history of these is Lewis and Clark, when they went on their expedition across America, they actually, one of the main things they took were camp ovens so that they could have something to cook with on their trip and back. And this is the official cooking vessel of the state of Texas. There's 3 states. There's Louisiana, Texas, and Utah. That's the only 3 states that this is the official cooking vessel. All right, so now we're going to go into how you kind of pick which ones you want. You've got your imports, and then you've got the ones that are made now, which most of the ones, the camp ovens you're going to find that's made here are Lodge. There's other companies that make cast iron, but I don't believe any of them have a camp oven yet. They make some Dutch ovens, but not camp ovens. The main thing is cast iron is cast iron. There's some really, really good ones out there that are from, Taiwan, China. The main thing you need to check is on the inside, make sure it's smooth. Some of them I've seen, I've restored a ton of them. Some of them are, really, really, really smooth, but some of them are so rough that if you try to rub a paper towel or something in it, it's going to literally rip it apart. So you want to stay away from the rough ones just because when you're cooking and using utensils, you don't want pieces of your wooden spatula to come off in your food. So if anybody ever has any questions around here, of course, you can come talk to me and I'll definitely check it out with you. There's a lot of places where you can't really check the insides of them. It's always recommended, if you can, you want to take a look on the inside before you buy something, because you don't want to buy something, get it home and find out it's sandpaper inside. And if they don't show you, then that's a good chance that you just pass. I know there's a lot of people out there that, these are thick, so you can get away with sanding some of the inside if you have to smooth it. But for anything like older, you really don't want to do it because it's a lot thinner. Now, new or used, that's totally up to you. I mean, some people really like being able to have something new and they can just go on with that. Lodge makes some awesome camp ovens. But you can also get some that have been totally restored and they're just as good. I mean, they work just as good, so it doesn't really matter which way. As long as it's seasoned good, you can cook anything in it. Now we'll go to sizes. The one thing that's different about these is they go by the size in inches. If you compare them to a regular Dutch oven, these actually are sized by the stove eye that's on the old stoves. So you can get a 10 or a size 10 in this, which is 12 inches across. Well, that's going to be the exact same size as a 12 camp oven. So these two are 16s. You can get a 14 Dutch oven and it's going to be roughly the same size. So you always got to think about that. If you go get the ones with legs, just think it's always going to be the inches. Now, a size 10, which is about this big around, that's usually for around 2 to 3 people. If you get a 12, you're talking about 4 to a small family size. Of course, if you go bigger than that, like a 14 or 16, you're going to be cooking for a group of people. So it's going to take a lot of food, and it's going to be really heavy to lift. Now, on your coals, I know there's other people, I don't know if we're going to be talking about that, but there's the rule of three. You just double the size of the camp oven. Then you do 2/3 on the top and 1/3 on the bottom. And make sure that plenty of heat gets down from the top all the way to your food to cook it. Now, once you're done cooking, all you got to do is make sure that you clean it out real good. And you can use soap. It ain't going to hurt anything. Just use soap, get all the food out of it. Once you get the food out, you dry it really, really good, and then you just put a light coating of oil in it. I have a method, I call it a 2-rag method. I've got one t-shirt rag that's covered in oil, then I've got another one that's dry. So what I'll do is I'll wipe down the entire piece, and then I'll take the dry one and I'll wipe it down too. It looks like it's going to be dry, but there's a microfilm on it that's going to take and protect it. A lot of times when we cook out here, the food stays in there for a while and it could eat away your seasoning. So all you have to do is do the 2-rag method, dry it out, and then put it in the oven for 450 for an hour, and that'll redo your seasoning. Sometimes you might have to do 2 or 3 coats to get it back really good, especially the lid. One of the things you're going to find out with cooking with these is your lid needs to be really, really seasoned well, because the moisture will come up and gather on it and drip back down. That'll remove your seasoning faster than any other part of your thing. So make sure you always season this at least 2 or 3 times more than you do the rest of the pot. All right, now another thing, once you do get done and you've got it, you went through the oven, it's seasoned, ready to go. What I do is I'll take a piece of paper towel and I'll fold it over like 4 or 5 times, and then I'll just stick it right under here like this. What it does is it provides just a little bit of airflow. So if there is any oil or anything in there, it won't go rancid or stagnate. So that just keeps it dry, keeps it clean, protected, so that next time you go, you're ready to run. Now, if you go out and you're looking for a camp oven, let's say you go to a garage sale or a flea market or a estate sale, you eventually do find some cast iron. The one thing you want to look at is what kind of work will it take to get that back in shape to cook. Most of the time, if it was used a lot, you're going to get it, it's going to be black, it's going to be, covered with oil. Sometimes it's real sticky because they've never cleaned it right. Those are actually really easy to clean. All you've got to do is get a big tub, fill it with lye and water, which is 1 pound of lye for every 5 gallons. What that does is that eats everything off of it, so that you can take and get it to bare metal, and then you can season it just like, I was talking about cleaning it. Just season it about 3 or 4 times, it's ready to go. Now, if you find one that's rusty, there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can either build an electrolysis tank, which uses electricity. You've got your anodes, it takes and cleans the metal, gets all the rust and everything off. But if you don't have that, then you don't really want to build something like an E-tank for just one piece. So you can take and scrub it down really, really good, and then do a vinegar bath, which is half vinegar, half water. You put it in there, you submerge it, you let it sit for about 20, 25 minutes. You pull it out, you scrub it down, and then you go back and forth until all the rust comes off. You don't want to just set it in there, because after about 30 minutes, the vinegar will start eating at the metal itself too. So you want to get the rust, but you don't want to eat up your metal. So after you get it totally clean and you get it down to bare metal, you want to dry it totally off. And then you do like the same thing with the 2-rag method. You get your oily rag, you take and cover the entire piece. Then you take the other rag and you dry it. And then you put it in the oven at I use canola, so the smoke point is around 450. So you put it in there for an hour, pull it out. You do 3 rounds on that, and it's good to go. You're ready to go cook. And that's it.
I'm sorry, what do you scrub it with?
I scrub, if it's outside and I'm like out of an E-tank, I use those barbecue brushes. They're just little plastic brushes. It's got the stainless steel bristles. I use that. I use the stainless steel little balls that you can buy at the store. And then every once in a while, like a little bitty tight places, there's these little brushes that have the stainless steel bristles, but it looks like a toothbrush. So you just get in and you can get in real good and clean that off. And then when I'm inside and I'm doing the final clean before I season, I use the Scotch-Brite pad and Dawn. Yes, ma'am.
If I'm looking to buy some antique cookware, how do I know if it has cracked or not?
First thing, you want to take